Chapter 24, The Escape Room. I was standing near the entrance of the escape room with Riv. I was questioning what I was doing here when I saw him. Polo. Approaching us, a smirk playing on his lips, his eyes gleaming with a predatory hunger. He looked impossibly handsome, his casual confidence radiating like a heat wave. But beneath the surface charm I sensed a calculated intent, a determination that sent a shiver down my spine. We were on the same team, of course. Not a coincidence, I suspected. He had a way of orchestrating things, of bending the world to his will. The haunted mansion theme was almost laughable, a caricature of suspense. Dim lighting, predictable sound effects, forced proximity, it was all so contrived, a blatant attempt to manufacture thrills. Yet a different kind of tension crackled in the air, a current that had nothing to do with jump scares and cobwebs. I watched him as we navigated the dimly lit rooms, solving riddles, deciphering clues. He was undeniably brilliant, his mind sharp, his movements fluid. But there was a ruthlessness to his efficiency, a single-mindedness that made me uneasy. The closet. That was the turning point. We were trapped in a small, claustrophobic space, searching for a hidden key. The air was thick with dust, and the faint, unsettling scent of mildew, and with the intoxicating fragrance of Polo. He was so close, his body heat a tangible presence, his scent a mix of cologne and something musky, something undeniably male filling my senses. "I think it's over here," he whispered, his voice a low rumble that vibrated through me. His arm brushed against my breast, the contact brief but electric. I gasped, my body tensing. The spark was undeniable, a raw, primal connection that defied logic. We should keep looking," I stammered, retreating from his touch. He didn't push, but his eyes held mine, a silent promise hanging in the air. We found the key, escaped the closet, and eventually conquered the mansion. But the real challenge, I knew, had just begun. At the after-party, he found me. "Can we talk?" he asked. Alone. I followed him through the house, the dim light concealing my racing pulse. "You were amazing in there," he said, his voice smooth as silk. "You have a sharp mind, Daph." The crowds thinned as we went. "It was just logic," I replied, feigning indifference. He stopped suddenly, taking out a key and opening a door. "It was more than that," he said, his voice husky, ushering me inside. "You see things differently. It's captivating." My heart skipped a beat. His room. I was in his room. The realization hit me like a wave of dizziness, the walls seeming to close in around me. This was a mistake. A huge mistake. He was close now, too close. I could feel the heat radiating from him, the intensity of his gaze burning into me. "Why are you doing this, Polo?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper, the question echoing in the sudden silence of the room. "Why are you pursuing me?" "Because I can't not," he said, his voice raw, the carefully constructed facade crumbling around him. "Because you're everything I'm not. You're real, you're passionate, you're a force of nature. And I'm drawn to you. I can't explain it. I need to be near you." His words were a seductive whisper, a siren song luring me closer to the edge. I saw the conflict in his eyes, the desire warring with something else, something I couldn't quite decipher. "I should go," I said, my voice barely audible, a tremor of fear running through me. "Don't," he pleaded, his fingers brushing my cheek, a touch that sent shivers down my spine. "Just let me be near you." And then his lips were on mine, a kiss that was both demanding and tender, a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. The world tilted, the room fading into a blur as I lost myself in the sensation. His kiss was a storm, a whirlwind of emotions that swept away my reservations, my doubts, my carefully constructed defenses. I felt his hands on me, exploring, holding me close. The kiss deepened, and I found myself responding, my hands moving to his hair, my body pressing closer to his. The air crackled with unspoken desires, with the weight of anticipation. We held each other close, the silence filled with the sound of our mingled breaths. Time seemed to stop, and I was lost in the moment, lost in the feeling of being held, of being wanted. He pulled away slightly, his eyes searching mine, a question burning in their depths. I met his gaze, my own answer hanging in the air, unspoken, uncertain. He held me close for a moment longer, then gently released me. The silence stretched between us, thick with unspoken emotions. I stepped back, a wave of confusion and conflicting feelings washing over me. "I have to go," I stammered, pulling my clothes on with shaking hands. Before he could say anything, I was gone, the door slamming shut behind me, the echoes of our cries still ringing in my ears. I ran through the house, my heart pounding, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I burst out into the night, the cool air a welcome relief against my flushed skin. I didn't stop running until I reached the cottage, my room, a safe haven from the chaos of my emotions. I collapsed onto my bed, body trembling, my mind a whirlwind of confusion and regret. What was I doing? What had I wanted him to do to me? The doubts resurfaced, a cold wave crashing over me. Was this surrender, or was it defeat? Was I falling for him, or was I falling prey to his game? Resolution was nowhere to be found, a mystery I was hesitant to pursue. The night extended, a complex web of what-ifs, leaving me in a state of contradiction, a willing captive in a game with an unclear winner.